So many people struggle with loving themselves, and I don't think that we're taught the right way to produce that self love. In my opinion, the number one way for someone to show that they love themselves is discipline. Now, what does that look like? By discipline, I mean by making small promises to yourself every day that you're willing to keep. Because over time, those promises stack up and become true inner confidence, and they become freeing for you inside. And again, it is the number one way to show yourself, I really love you, right? We all have an inner child. So many of us have felt abandoned. So many of us have felt, not taken care of properly. And I genuinely believe that the number way to reparent that is by being that person for yourself. So, waking up early is a perfect example. So if I myself say, Darian, for the next week, I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. and I do, after the 7th day, I'm going to be 10 times more confident in myself than what I was than when I started. Versus, if I don't do that, I'm always going to be second guessing myself. I'm always going to have a little bit of anxiety. I'm always going to have a little bit of self-doubt because I'm not able to keep those promises that I'm making, right? Discipline is freeing. Discipline is something that we can all do, and it doesn't have to be a big overload, of stuff at one time. It could be just very minuscule things, like saying, you know what, I'm going to grab a book, I'm going to read 3 pages. But it's the fact that you're telling yourself to do something and you're keeping that promise is what's going to give you that real confidence and that real love in yourself. We always think that self-love comes from hyper-indulgence in our vices, being pampered, maybe just overeating or oversleeping. But in reality, those things don't really help in the long run. They are components of self-love, but only short-term fixes. The true fix of self-love is to say, you know what? I'm aware of who I am. I'm going to make promises to myself, even if they're uncomfortable, and I'm going to keep them. So, if you're someone who struggles with loving yourself, start with something really small. Maybe just say, you know what? I'm going to make my bed every day for a week. And let's just see how that goes, and let's see how we feel. So now, I got a quick little story time for you guys. So let's get right into it. So a quick little story on how I learned to love myself started with me just starting to build a routine. I feel like as a kid, I was disciplined, but only in certain ways. So I had sports, I played basketball, obviously. And when I came to those sports, that's what instilled the discipline in me to say, you know what, sometimes to get the results you want, you have to do things that you really don't want to do, right? So I would have 6 a.m. practices, I would have weight room, I would have conditioning and hard drills that I would have to do every single day in order to achieve a certain result. So one day when I was a little bit younger, I just decided, how about I apply this to every other aspect of my life? So what I did was I developed a routine. I said, you know what, I'm going to go on walks every day. I'm going to do some mindfulness meditation every day. I'm going to, work on something creative. So whether that be acting or drawing or writing, and then I would read every day. So if I exercise, did my deep breathing, read, and created something every single day, that was a win. And in sports, we just call it stacking the days. So you would want to stack as many wins in a row as possible before you take a loss. So by doing that, over time, I just fell in love with that freedom of not having to, not do something and feel so bad about it, right? And The beautiful thing about it was because it was my schedule, I was able to make it exactly how I wanted. So one day I might could read for 20 minutes. The next day I might read for 2. All that mattered was that I read something. So I would just keep that discipline with myself every day. And then over the course of months and years, I know myself. Like, I know my weaknesses and I know my strengths and I know the things that I have to do to stay grounded. So I challenge everyone watching this video is to come up with stuff every day that you can do that will benefit you. And I don't mean just like, oh, I'm just gonna eat a lot today or I'm gonna eat more. Like, no, I mean like actually an actionable step, something that you can do. So like I said, making your bed. I started doing that. Maybe it's just going on a walk and getting some exercise. Maybe it's hitting the weight, going to the gym and getting a gym membership, or reading, or it could be creating something. Do something every single day and keep that promise to yourself. And I promise that your identity that you believe and perceive about yourself will change, because you're becoming someone who you feel like doesn't really have what it takes to be loved, to taking those steps of like knowing like, okay, because I'm doing this, I deserve to be loved for no matter what, because this is who I am. I'm disciplined in my routine and I'm disciplined in everything I need to do. So that being said, I came up with this little scenario that I got for you guys today, acting wise. Let's check it out. You have some nerve trying to tell me if I'm lovable or not. I love myself and no one else can tell me otherwise. Now, you need to go work on yourself, because I can see that you are projecting all your insecurities onto me. You're not slick. You don't love yourself, so you don't want me to join you. You want me to be just like you, just sad and miserable. But guess what? It's not gonna happen, because I love myself and no one can change that. So get out of here and go work on yourself, because you're sick in the head and you need to go to therapy. See you. So something that I really want everyone to take from this video is just start with something small. Start with one little practice of discipline. And another thing I wanted to touch on is that motivation comes and goes, but discipline is here forever. No matter how I feel, I'm able to maintain my routines, keep the promises to myself, and get the job done, because it doesn't matter how motivated I am in the moment. All that matters is that I get it done. And I'm telling you, the more that you get it done, the more you will fall in love with yourself. Discipline also will help you with your purpose, whatever that is, whether it be studying, whether it be you're in school, whether you're trying to become a content creator, whether you're an athlete, whether you're a musician, whether you're in the military, shout out to my guy Ryan. Just whatever it is, if you just take those steps every single day, it will bring you one step closer to your goal. And if you take one step every single day, you will get to the destination. Just keep going, keep striving. And I also want to tell everyone that even though discipline is something that should be done every day, if you don't, the number one thing I want you to take to is to be gentle with yourself. You miss a day, so what? Get back on track. In basketball, we call it next play speed. If I come down in a game and shoot a shot and I miss, next play. If I come down in a game and I shoot a shot and I make it, next play. Because guess what? It's over. You can't control it. So there's no point in harping on it. So it's the same thing with our discipline. Let's try our best every single day, day in and day out. And if you fail, so what? Keep it pushing. Because when you just keep stacking your days, one day at a time, and you do that for a year, guess what? A year from now, you won't be the same person. And in 5 years from now, you won't recognize the person that started. And then from 10 years, you won't even recognize the person that started has 5 years of experience. So, discipline is freedom. It will make you free. When you can have urges and you can have things that you really want to do, and you say, you know what, I'm not going to indulge in those. It could be with alcohol. It could be with corn. It could be with weed, whatever drug it is, or whatever thing, food, whatever something is that you struggle with. If you can say, you know what, I'm going to be disciplined enough to not do this today, for 2-3 days, 4-5 days, 7 days, a month, whatever. You develop this inner strength and this inner confidence that is self-love. When you can walk around knowing that you are okay with who you are, with you are being confident, knowing that the decisions you're making is helping you become the best version of you, that is the number one definition of self-love. Become who you want to be. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And if you fall, get up, next play. Wonder Tribe. Keep stacking your days. Let's keep getting better. And let's love ourselves through discipline. If you enjoyed this video, give me a like, comment, and subscribe. And tell me something that you're going to start. Tell me a discipline that you're going to start today, that you're going to keep and promise to yourself. So again, Wonder Tribe, I'll see you soon.